I don't know what's going on over at Forbes. They'll put out positive articles, negative articles. Out of all of the big media sites, they really straddle that fence the most. They don't want to cross it. They want to sit right on it. Forbes put out some great stuff. They put out that article about how Star Wars has not returned its investment. Like, Disney has not had a return on investment for Star Wars. A great article. Pretty much outlining what a lot of us have been saying for years. And then they put out stuff like this. It's just funny. You know, you've probably already lost access, Forbes. That article alone was enough to probably have Kathleen Kennedy screeching in her office for a few days. We all know she was turning her desk over when South Park put out that that Panderverse episode. So I haven't seen anybody straddle the fence quite like Forbes. I think it's funny, and I just wanted to talk about it. They put this out the other day on the 29th. Anti-woke Star Wars fans are being weird about the Acolyte. They're weird about it. And all they do is post shill account tweets, which I thought was funny. Like Wikipedia here. I always want to call them Wokipedia. This website's about to get sued by Star Wars Theory for defamation, the way they're going on about him. I guess he's really thinking about it. That'd be fun to watch. That'd be really fun to watch. But anyway, we have some numbers for the Acolyte that we can actually talk about. And, wow, they're bad. Here's the headline. The Acolyte viewership declines for a second week in a row. Nearly 60% decline from Ahsoka. Oof. Yikes. Turns out things aren't going very well over there at Lucasfilm. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. But I got to tell you, it's been really funny hunting down numbers for this show. They had their little LeBron James statistics that they made up for the show saying, oh, yeah, biggest debut for 2024 Disney Plus. Only 6 months into the year when they haven't even really put anything out there. I think the biggest thing that off the top of my head that's come out since the Acolyte is X-Men 97. Did Ahsoka come out this year? I don't think it did. So not really a lot that they're competing with in old 2024. So it's just kind of a funny stat that they were pushing around like that was some kind of big win. And then, of course, a lot of outlets covered it and cut off that it was the biggest premiere of 2024 and acted like this is some kind of big win for the Star Wars fandom all around when it wasn't. So, yeah, compared to Ahsoka, the show is shit. And Ahsoka's not a good show, by the way. So it's just getting worse and worse. But let's take a look at this. From That Park Place, great outlet, of course. Viewership for the Acolyte has declined for the second week in a row, according to data shared by analytics from Luminate. As reported by Variety, viewership for the Acolyte declined to 232.2 million minutes watched for the week of the show's fifth episode. That's a decline of 11% from the previous week, which had a total of 262 million minutes watched. Of note, the runtime for both the fourth and fifth episodes are nearly identical. The fourth episode has a runtime of 34 minutes, while the fifth episode's runtime is 34 minutes and 5 seconds. And they've got some numbers here from Variety's post, and you can kind of take a look at what's going on there. The show hit its peak viewership with the release of its third episode, which introduced lesbian space witches, as well as a replacement for the Force called Thread. Viewership for the week, the third episode debuted topped 380.5 million. The least viewed week was the show's premiere week. The 2-episode premiere only brought in 210 million minutes. A lot of people talked about that third episode and how it was going to have a peak, and it would probably have a lot higher views than previous ones, and that's because of all the talk around it. If you remember, when this show was coming out, I think most people got to see the first 4 episodes before everybody else, and everybody was saying, wait till you see the third one. Wait till you see it. It's going to be bad. So, you know, a lot of people, there's that saying, you see a train wreck, you can't quite look away, despite how bad it looks, right? I think that's what's going on here with this. So a lot of people wanted to see exactly how bad this was going to be, and they tuned in for it. Now, spoilers, as we move forward in this article, you're going to find out they didn't come back. Because, of course, they didn't. Why Disney thought that it was a good idea to have these women pretty much destroy the canon that is Anakin Skywalker and what makes him special is beyond me. But for some reason, they all thought it was a good idea. And lo and behold, Star Wars is an even worse place right now than it was a year ago. Somehow, some way, Kathleen Kennedy will make it happen. I look forward to the next project that does even more damage, because every time she puts something out, it seems like it just does nothing but irritate people and ruin everything. I'm here for it, man. Just keep running it into the ground. Just run it into the ground over and over again. I kind of want to see how much they can damage this at this point. I want to see how many fans will stay after all of this stuff. It keeps getting worse and worse for them. Of note, the viewership fluctuation also reflects the total number of reviews for individual episodes on IMDb. The first episode received over 20,000 reviews, while the second received over 18,000. The third one received over 20,000. However, the fourth episode only received 11,000 reviews. The fifth episode only has 8,400. The show's viewership is also significantly lower than Ahsoka, which aired during the summer of 2023. Okay, so it wasn't this year. So what else on Disney Plus has there been besides X-Men 97 this year? Because I can't really think of anything. And that show, as good as it was, had low viewership also. But that show, probably significantly cheaper to make than Ahsoka. Animation takes a notoriously long time to produce, but I would have to imagine that it was much cheaper than Ahsoka, especially a Lucasfilm show, because they have no idea how to manage budgets over there, and that's all starts with the leadership. Anybody that's been following Lucasfilm since Disney took over closely knows how much money they've lost, how much money they waste hiring and firing people. It's a mess. Reshoots. They don't know what the hell they're doing over there. They should have hired somebody that did more than just get coffee for Spielberg her entire career. Maybe get somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, running stuff. I don't know. While Ahsoka declined the week of its third episode to 487 million minutes, the Acolyte increased to 380 million. Ahsoka still had over 100 million more minutes viewed compared to The Acolyte. Ahsoka's fourth episode hauled in 459 million minutes compared to 262 million minutes of The Acolyte. The fifth episode of Ahsoka raked in 577 million minutes compared to the 232.2 million for The Acolyte. That's a 59.7 decline. It's unlikely that viewership will increase until the final episode, when some people will come in and binge the entire season. And that's it. Very interesting. I don't think you're going to see a rise in viewership. I do think the peak was that third episode, and that's just because people wanted to tune in and see what was going on. They wanted to know, like, how bad is this? Like, people are saying this is the worst thing to ever happen to Star Wars. I want to see what it is, and they were proven right. In my opinion, I do think The Acolyte is the worst thing to happen to Star Wars, more so than Jake Skywalker. And the reason I say that is because all of Star Wars that we've had forever, Anakin is the chosen one. His birth is special. It's a forced birth. And then they came in, they did this. And it just makes it all not special. Anakin is not special anymore. The Jedi aren't special either. Now they're this jaded, broken, full of themselves group, which they always kind of were, but that was more so in the prequels. So I don't like what they're doing. I've been at the point where I don't care. Like, this is kind of just a big joke to me at this point, because Star Wars is a joke now. And it's been a joke for a long time. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Are you surprised? I don't think any of you are, but it is nice to finally have something to talk about numbers-wise with this show. Disney's been holding it close to the chest for a while, and it's only a matter of time till we get the true story and real stuff. I think eventually Nielsen might finally reveal something. I would hope. I want to see some data, man. Show it to us. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.